Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to Next Industry 5.0 keynote speech. This time it will be very special because for the first time we will speak about Industry 4.0 in the age of Industry 5.0. My name is Mike Rada. I am a human and I am the founder of Industry 5.0. But before we start, let me ask you two questions. The first one is who we are, because we have many titles. We are managers, presidents, chairmen, students. We are producers, teachers, fathers and mothers. During our lives, we have collected many titles. And with every single one, we have forgotten that we are human beings. Living ones, not like this man on County Yard of Pilsen Brewery. And if we do realize who we are, let me ask you the second question. Where do we live? We live in beautiful cities like Roubaix, Pilsen, Paris, Brussels. We live in beautiful cities which we filled with trash. We work in factories which produce in one day more trash than a city in a month. We produce products that before becoming useful become trash as well. And we store them in big metal houses filled with air and we call for more to be built. And at the end of our shift, we leave home next to the output of our hands and we arrive and realize maybe that something what was called food before is called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky above our heads and we ask ourselves, where do we live? During my keynote, I will answer this question to you, but before, let's have a look. What is Industry 4.0? According to Wikipedia, the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0, conceptualized rapid change to technology industries and society patterns and processes in 21st century due to increasing interconnectivity and smart automatization. The term was used widely in scientific literature since 2011 and 2015 was popularized by Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman, who says that it is the change with a significant shift into industrial capitalism. At the same time, Wikipedia says that at a part of this phase is industrial change joining the technology, artificial intelligence, gene editing to advanced robotics, so as physical, digital and biological worlds. But have you ever considered what is industrial capitalism? That's another term in Wikipedia. And you see, the industrialists replace merchants as dominant factor, and the capitalists put in decline traditional handcrafting skills of artisans, guilds, and journeymen, which means Industry 4.0 should do the work for the people. And what will do the people? Nobody asks. So what was the roadmap of Industry 4.0? In 2009, the EU Commission asked for boosting up the economy. It was an order to industrial players. In 2011, Siemens came with something which he introduced as Industry 4.0, and it was adopted. Just it took 2 years to be official and strongly funded by not only German government, but by many governments, including the European Commission. Then in 2015, Davos came, and again, more and more people learn about Industry 4.0 and more money has been given to implement Industry 4.0. But 5 years later, COVID came and revealed the threat of dependency on technology. And in 2021, on January 7th, European Commission officially implemented Industry 5.0 in the European Sustainable Development Framework. Right now, let's see what is Industry 5.0 to understand the content of this keynote. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is built on principles of systematic waste prevention, so-called industrial upcycling, and it was launched on December 1st, 2015, by an article called Industry 5.0 from Virtual to Physical. It recognizes and prevents 4 types of waste: physical, social, urban and process waste, and their principles has been already implemented since 2013. And already in 5 years has been prevented more than 1 million metric tons of products and material to become waste. What is the existing reality? I was born on December 24th, 1971. At the day, our planet was called blue marble. But in 2019, the environmental damage was so big that the planet was not blue anymore, but gray and brown, covered with smoke. But then something strange happened. In 2020, the blue phase show up again. Not because of the intention of human, but because of a virus which locked the humans behind the doors. We are living on a planet around which, in just few decades' time, we have been able to create a global landfill on the orbit with 170 million pieces of space debris, pieces smaller than 10 centimeters, plus you have to add another 750,000 of 10 to 30 centimeters and 80,000 above centimeters. Don't think these numbers came from me. NASA, the US Space Agency, delivered it together with this picture, generated by artificial intelligence. We are living on a planet in which we dig for more, because digging for more and having more is the only criteria of success, no matter what. More cars, more people, more companies, more women, more men, more political parties. Ask Fortune 500 members how they get to the list. Ask Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mike Bloomberg, how they get to the list. We are living on a planet together with 7.95 billion people, not knowing that 200 years ago it was just 1 billion. And 100 years later, in 1912, it was just 1.5 billion, which means in the current 100 years, there is 5 times more people despite 2 world wars, 2 war pandemics, and more than 650 war conflicts, which happened since 1945. In 2050, some predicts there will live 11 billion people on the same planet. And please just now remember the last image I showed you. We are living in 206 countries according to UN 193. We are speaking 7,000 languages. We are riding 1 billion car. And we let 9 million people yearly dying because of being hungry, despite the fact that every single day 23.6 million metric tons of food and crop is being wasted. We let 800,000 people dying thirsty, despite the fact that only California crude oil industry consume every single day 347 million liters of drinking water to make crude, to make oil out of it. We are planting our food to throw it away because for the buyer in a chain store, the leaves are not green enough. We put our food overproduction on the rivers and in the landfills, not to spoil the market price. We are carrying our water in firefighting tanks, not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and simple hamburger. And we do it on a planet where one sip of water can save not 1, but 2 lives. We are working in factories which has walls filled with environmental certificates, and behind the walls the same company create a landfill. The companies store their obsolete packaging in a parking lots for employees, waiting till it became waste. We are wasting products which are not good for one, but can serve hundreds and thousands of others. And we do it under the supervision of World Bank, which says till 2050 the waste volumes will grow. No matter that almost everything can be reused or repurposed again, in reality only 13.5% is being repurposed. This is what made the waste industry third most profitable industry in the world. What is the roadmap of Industry 5.0? In 2010, I have identified the issues of permanent growth. And in 2013, introduced industrial upcycling to be and become, on December 1st, 2015, the groundstone of Industry 5.0. In 2020, we introduced first in the world the first post-pandemic recovery tool. In August 21st, I have started the Age of Industry 5.0 in India, with just one and only keynote delivered on the largest industrial conference. 2 months later, the first Industry 5.0 ambassador started his role in India. His name is Shiv Raochala, and he's running a company 3R Zero Waste. On January 7th, 2021, European Commission adopted Industry 4.0. On September 1st, 2021, the world's first waste prevention legislation was introduced and shared in 60 countries, so globally. On October 2021, October 19th, United Nations panel on World Investment Forum spoke about Industry 5.0, and this is what is Industry 5.0 today. So it is transformation and evolution, because the impact of COVID started the transformation in reality. Industry 5.0 has been already preparing this transformation since 2013. It is important for Industry 5.0 to minimize the negative impact of impact through delivering of palm paper results. It is important to understand that there are only two topics which are connecting all industries in the world. The first one is money and profit. Everybody speaks about. The second one is waste, about which nobody would like to speak about. But until Industry 5.0 was introduced, there was only one topic to talk, the profit. But since introduction, everybody has the right to choose whether she or he would like to generate profit or waste, because there is nothing in between. What is the connection and the influence? Industry 4.0 is one of the so-called on-the-ground minds which we utilize in Industry 5.0. The integrated technologies are tools, but are not the masters. The human work and the power of touch grow on importance again, and Gemba, the working place, become the steering wheel of the sustainable development. Industry 5.0 reduced the volume of waste, even those which is produced by Industry 4.0. So Industry 5.0 is the reduction of the negative impact before it happened. We have made one big mistake in the past. We have built our future on the top of the pyramids, not understanding or not remembering that the pyramids has not been built for the living ones, but for the dead ones instead. I realized a decade ago or 12 years ago already, and I started to build another groundstone, a groundstone which will stay stable no matter what you will do. It's called 6R instead of 3R. How does it work? Firstly, you have to recognize that something must not become waste, and trust me, That's not an easy task. The second is that you reconsider what to do with it, and this is even harder. But the third one is the reward. You will fail probably for the first, second, maybe third time. But then, in the moment of your success, you will realize that you start to change the world. I was asked many times what is the value of waste industry. In 2019, we introduced it for the first time. It was 475 trillion US dollars. Savings in a year on a global scale. The implementation can save already the first year 50% of the waste management cost. But unfortunately, this number is no more valid. It's much more higher. The reason is the war in Ukraine, because not a single bullet which was shot will be used again, and not a single life which was lost will be recovered. To do the change, we need the tools, and we can imagine the tool as a rope, and there are many ways how to use a rope. For example, one used by circular economy. You take the rope, you make it in a round, you put the people around and you tell them to pull or push. Unfortunately, without giving them the right instruction, the only thing what happen will be stuttering of the wheel, but nothing will change. Or you can do it different way. You can do it by using the 17 SDG goals with 197 sub-goals. How to do that? You take the rope, you untie it in a small threads, you put the people next to them, and you expect a result. But unfortunately, if you don't tell the people when and how strong they should pull, the threads will break, and again no change will be delivered. Or you take the rope as it is, you tie it to the place which you need to change. You put the people around and you do what you should do. Pull the rope in one direction, in one time, and this is how the wasteless world is being built. I spent 8 years to develop and write the first waste prevention legislation. How does it work? Nothing that can be used or utilized again must become waste. Everything must be considered as a primary pre-waste existing resource and remain in the system. The secondary use or utilization must not be considered or limited to the primary function of a product or material and can be executed by anyone respecting the rules, regulations, and safety conditions. Collecting, sorting, baling, and trade are not being considered anymore secondary utilization, and if not utilized on a primary location, it must be offered to someone else before being wasted. And dear ladies and gentlemen, please understand, there is no waste if we do not waste. Trust me or not a single legislation in the world defines how waste is being created. So I define it because it's a process called wasting. Wasting is a process in which from product or material of any kind, form, and volume become waste. In fact, wasting is a system failure and must be prevented first without any limitation or legal restrictions. Wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but it is the result of human behavior, and single use is one of the most frequent types of wasting. What are the waste categories? To repeat it, it's a physical waste. This is what you throw away in a trash and garbage bin. It's a social waste, which are the people who cannot live meaningful life, and even the animals. It's a urban waste represented by empty factories building flats in the cities where the people without roof have to live in the streets. And it's a process waste which is omnipresent in every single industry, every single process, sometimes called muda, but it is there. Do you ever realize that 50% of the shipping containers are shipped filled just with air when they return for new cargo? Internationally, of course. So I have a request to all of you. Do not ask sustainability before become sustainable first. Reduce financing of publication. Instead of that, invest into doers. Do not measure what you cannot measure yourself, because otherwise you will not know whether you reach it or not. Eliminate fear from a company and society standards. Don't ask people to run. Let them walk and deliver the right palpable result with high quality. Take a picture before you create after. And value humans, not machine or technology. That's very important. So as don't waste your time in favor of personal profit. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is the first industrial tool which changed the mindset from wasteful to wasteless. It delivered the results without the need of capital investment, and it's based on the principles of systematic waste prevention. Utilizing the on-the-ground mines is based on transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And please understand, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a buzzword. It's a new global ecosystem which is here already for 7 years. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the times of digitalization of our work. Our children has lived in the times of digitalization of our education, and our leisure time was digitalized long time ago, so it looks like that the only thing which needs to be done is to digitalize the human. But if we do so, our home will look like this, and that's not a mistake, because data don't need any light. I realized this decade ago, and I decided that's not my home, and I decided to build it new. This is my home. This is why I am for 9 years on my way. This is why we started on January 1st, 2022, the first global recovery challenge called 17, in which we say that in 17 months, human can recover the industries, society, economy, and the environment. Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Rada. I am human. And don't worry, I'm not alone. At the moment, on my side, there are 102 Industry 5.0 ambassadors representing the gates to wasteless war in 102 countries already. Everyone allowing the access to the tools of systematic waste prevention. Anyone. Because everyone can prevent waste happen. We are here. We are on the construction site. And I hope I will see you there soon. And if you have a question, please ask. Have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe and free, because only these three together deliver to you the meaningful life. Thank you.